What's up, everyone? Welcome to this edition of Keep Watch Pass. We have a very special show today because normally when we do Keep Watch Pass, so on your regular Mondays, it's, hey, welcome to the show. Here's my lovely wife, Carrie. Not today. Because today, it's my lovely co-host, Gomez from the Sleevie G Show. Gomez, welcome to the show. How you doing, man?
I am doing good, man. Happy belated Thanksgiving to you and your family.
Thank you. And happy belated Thanksgiving to you, too, even though our Thanksgivings are separated by a month, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's all right. Who cares? I think of Canada and America are the same. We're one together. Anything down south, I don't know.
See, here's the thing. We should celebrate here, have as much turkey as possible, and by the time American Thanksgiving rolls around, the tryptophan has actually worn off and we're ready to go for round two.
I don't know if I could do another round of turkey or apple pie or pumpkin. I am so done already.
So the last time you and I talked on one of the shows, you had mentioned that you had to appear on Keep Watch Pass because aside from Carrie, you would then be the first quadfecta guest, as in appearing on It's Not That Bad, There Can Only Be One, and Grading on a Curve, and now Keep Watch Pass. But as we were getting ready to roll, we all of a sudden realized that no. Gomez is the only person five times guest on all of the podcasts, because Gomez was also a guest on Made You a Mixtape, to anyone who actually remembers that podcast. So Gomez, you have done the impossible. You have appeared on all 5 shows. Welcome to it.
Thank you. Now, the funny thing is, Made You a Mixtape was my first ever interview, me being interviewed on another show. That was my very first time ever.
And then I get to appear on your show being interviewed, so the circle is now complete.
Damn right. Woo-hoo.
I love it. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I let Gomez pick the subject for the show because, well, it's Gomez. He's awesome. It's all good.
Thank you.
And he chose movies starring Keanu Reeves. So here's what we are about to do. We are about to go through the filmography of one Mr. Keanu Reeves, and we're going to pick our Keep, Watch, and Pass movies. The Keep is the movie we go, whoa. The Watch is the movie where we go, whoa. And the Pass we go, whoa. So
there's a couple.
In Keanu speak, if you will. So Gomez, I'm going to let you take the charge here. What is your Keep movie for movies starring Keanu Reeves?
My first Keep of a Keanu movie, it's kind of funny, and I still watch it to this day. It's Point Break.
Oh, wow.
I know everybody would probably say Speed, because that was his breakout, but I think Point Break was one of his major roles at that time. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, which was in 90, and we're talking Point Break in 91, 1 year later. But I think really Point Break put him on the map. You had Keanu Reeves. You had Patrick Swayze. You had a great cast in that movie, and I just loved it. I loved every minute of that movie, and to this day, I still watch it.
Oh, I mean, yes, the original, for sure. No to the remake.
No.
No.
I mean, I didn't like the idea. What they did was different for the remake, but this is a movie that should have never been remade.
Oh,
to begin with. You should have just left it alone. It's like Ferris Bueller. It's a fine wine and aged perfectly. You don't need to change anything.
I mean, for what it was, and it was definitely of its time. Surfers were extreme. You had Anthony Kiedis in the film as well, so you had your Red Hot Chili Peppers Phil for that one.
You had Flea. No, was Flea in there?
No, it was Anthony Kiedis.
Oh, it's Anthony Kiedis. No, but I thought Flea was in there for a short cameo. But
no. Flea's in other movies. He's in the Star Wars
he was in Son-in-Law. Oh, yes, I know. I heard.
But the thing is, like, even though it's of its time, it definitely transcended its time. And I think that's mainly because, in Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze, you have 2 actors that really, have you ever heard anyone say anything bad about Patrick Swayze or Keanu Reeves?
No. I wish we could only make more good movies like that with those two. Unfortunately, Patrick Swayze passed away of cancer a long time ago.
And there's the thing, right? It's like actors like that, they have the ability to take even the most, and I'm not saying this about Point Break, but even the most threadbare script and turn it into something enjoyable because they had that likable charisma whenever they were on the screen. So despite the extravagancy of the concept of the film and the heist that they're trying to pull off, you kind of believe it because you like both guys.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
I have to say, Point Break not on my list. Now, you and I know each other. We've known each other for years now, right? You know me. I'm a sci-fi geek.
Yes, I know you are.
And
it's obvious in the background with all the books.
Well, exactly, right? So it is an audio-only podcast, but I will say that there is a ton of books behind me, and we've talked about this bookshelf recently on this show. There's a lot of sci-fi books on there. And it goes without saying that any film that I have seen so far based on a Philip K. Dick novel is going to do very well. So I'm going to go with my keep movie, A Scanner Darkly.
Ooh.
So aside from the fact that it's a really cool sci-fi plot, and aside the fact that it's taken one of my more enjoyed sci-fi authors, again, Philip K. Dick, the guy behind the story that Blade Runner, of course, was based on, you have one of the most fascinating animation styles in a film that whether you like the film or not, you can't look away from the film and be in awe at everything they put into this film. Like it is a visual masterpiece. That it is. I mean, I remember too, when this movie came out, I think there was like a bank commercial that came out that had kind of like the same animation style to it. I'm like, no. Don't tell me about interest rates in the same animation styles I just watched A Scanner Darkly, because I'm going to start to question the reality of your bank. Don't do that. Just don't do that. But the thing is, when you have a film that is a lot of style, and this is a film with a lot of style to it, the first thought entering your mind might be the fact that, well, where's the substance? There's a lot of substance in this film, and you had like a great cast. And anytime, of course, you pair Keanu Reeves and Winona Ryder, you're going to have a very good film with good on-screen chemistry. It's a trippy film, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah,
it's like having Keanu Reeves with Paula Abdul in that music video.
Rush. And right now, everyone is wishing that I didn't sing, so I'm sorry.
Don't worry, and everyone, I'm with you on that one because they're probably going, God, Gomez, don't do the humming.
I mean, it was a good song. It was. Actually, one of her better songs. I'll give Paula Abdul credit where credit is due. That was actually one of her better songs.
I like Straight Up more.
Although, that being said, and I'm going to flash back here, because you mentioned being in a music video.
Uh-oh.
The first time I appeared on Playlist Wars, we were talking Anthrax.
Yes, we were.
Did you know that Keanu Reeves is in the music video for Safe Home by Anthrax off of the We've Come For You All album?
No.
This was the last original studio album that they did during the John Bush era.
Wow.
And they put out a video, and Keanu Reeves is in it. Literally just walking around. It's like Keanu Reeves walking around and the band playing live. That's basically the video. It's not the best video, but he's in it.
But that's so cool, though, that he was in it, though. Actually, I'm looking at the history right now.
See, now we need a Dogstar and Anthrax tour. They need to go out on the road together.
They should. Yes, I agree with you on that one.
All right. So now we get to our watch film. And for me, I like movies with occasionally a good stage villain. And Keanu Reeves is not the stage villain in this one, though. It's Al Pacino. I'm going with the devil's advocate for my watch film. Like, this is, and it's not necessarily for Keanu Reeves' performance in this. I mean, he's good. He's good.
Very good.
But Al Pacino takes the dialogue and every scene he's in, and it's a buffet, and he basically pulled up the chair with a fork and a knife and just, said, "Forget the plates, I'm here to eat." It was such a good movie.
Just when I think I was out, they pulled me back in.
I mean, we knew lawyers were evil to begin with, right?
Oh, yeah.
But the thing is, not only do you have a decent performance from Keanu Reeves, and not only do you have just a delightfully evil performance from Al Pacino, but you also have a very, very good Charlize Theron. Like,
oh, that's right.
It's a raw performance from her, but again, Charlize Theron is one of those actresses that literally can do anything. You could sit there and write down her character description as dresses like a pineapple, likes to mamba, but more importantly, likes to go to metal shows. And she would sit there and say, "I can do this. I just need a haircut, a plaid shirt, and jumper shorts. Let's go."
Yeah, let's just do it. She's amazing. She's an amazing actress and beautiful to know too. So we can never complain about Charlize Theron.
But the thing is, she has the ability to disappear in her roles, like absolutely disappear into her roles. Like when she was in the movie Bombshell, she looked and sounded, and her mannerisms were spot on to that of Megyn Kelly. When she was in Monster, like she was unrecognizable.
I didn't realize. I'm like, wow, that's the girl I really wanted to go out with before I got married. I was like, damn.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you have a stellar cast. You have like your classic, good versus evil, morals on the line kind of thing, like heaven versus hell story, all set in this, massive law firm. Like it's a great movie, and it plays on the innocence that Keanu Reeves had at the time.
It did, and that's the one thing, because you had Al Pacino's the devil, who portrayed that very well, and you have Keanu Reeves who tries to play like the I don't know, like the angel kind of guy. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I'm an angel. Don't do anything stupid.
Oh, I remember he's no angel, but
he's not. But there was a couple of scenes like I remember there was a couple of like scenes with women in it, and he was just like, no, I'm married. I'm like, oh, come on, dude, you're a lawyer. You do bumps in the bathroom probably.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it was very much the, Keanu Reeves, Kevin Lomax being tempted into joining the dark side, which apparently has a law office. So, there you go. But I mean, like, even some of the smaller performances in this by like Craig T. Nelson and Heather Matarazzo, like you have, and Connie Nielsen, you have such a good cast. There's a reason why this film still stands the test of time. But now we're back to you, Gomez. What is your watch film?
My watch film that I can never stop watching. And you know me, I love action, I love comedy. But, I was thinking The Replacements, but I have to go to my goodie, John Wick.
Ah, yes.
I mean, the man is a retired assassin, as they call him, the Babarega, which is the ghost or the devil, whatever you want to call him in Russian. Oh, not Russian, but the boogeyman. That's it. They would call him the boogeyman. And he was one of the best. He finds his love, retires. Someone shoots her to get to him. Well, try to shoot him, and they shot her. So, he gets the dog that she sends. The bad guy, is portrayed, and the son goes as Alfie Allen. There we go. It was Joseph, and the Michael Nyquist as Vigo, the real true bad guy. Well, Vigo's son Joseph wants his 1967 Mustang, which is a beautiful thing, you know what I mean? But you don't mess a man with his dog. They go to the guys. They go to John Wick's house. They beat the shit out of him. They kill the dog. They steal the car. Which is funny, as Vigo calls John Wick and goes, "John, this is Vigo. I'm sorry about your wife, but let's cut to the crowd." And he just hangs up. And the best part is, what was the William Dafoe, Dean Winters, as he goes, "What did he say?" Nothing. Oh my god. Oh my god. So they're all worried. He goes, "How many men do you have? Enough? Send them all." John Wick is pounding on the pavement, getting his guns ready, and he's got an all-out war at his house. And one of my favorite lines, "Hey, John. Hey, Charlie. Working again?" "No, just taking care of business." And the security guys go, "Shit," and walks away. John, I could watch that movie any day of the week, any time of the day, and never get sick of it. Just like almost all his movies.
I mean, if you were to take a look at just the synopsis of this film, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just the basic plot, killer out of the business. These guys kill his dog, and now he's out for revenge. And yeah, it's starring Keanu Reeves, the star of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Your first thought is, this sounds like a comedy. This sounds like one of those more over the top, guns a blazing John Woo style comedy.
Yeah.
But they've turned this not just into like a decent action film, but a decent action franchise. And the fact that, if memory serves, nary a single John Wick film qualifies for It's Not That Bad. Like, they're all well received.
And I loved every single one of them. You couldn't do It's Not That Bad on John Wick, because there's not one bad John Wick. Now, if you said Beverly Hills Cop movies, I'll say the third one was the worst.
And now you're getting the spinoff. You're getting Ballerina that's coming out in 2024.
And he's in that movie.
He's in it, as well as Ana de Armas, Chloe Grace Moretz, Norman Reedus, Lance Reddick. Like, you have a killer cast for that. And really, like, striking when the when the iron is hot is when it comes for Ana de Armas, and she's just getting like every big role right now, and then good for her too, because she's very good as well. So it will be curious to see how that franchise fares when the focus is on someone not John Wick, even though he is still in it.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but this is what's kind of funny is where he came from.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So we're gonna get more insight on that, where he came from and why. You know what I mean? Like, how did the ballerina become such a huge thing for him when it's ballerinas? But then you see in the second movie, John Wick 2, where he came from, and his name is not John. Well, John is Jandani in Russian, I think.
Yeah, so there's a backstory that needs to be flushed out.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool because we get to see where he really came from. So props and bravo to that.
I think that's one of the things that made the first John Wick film so good and it's, again, aside from all the action and all the acting, is that here was this character that had this lush backstory, that this world was built and they didn't really take the time to introduce you to it. They just they spoon fed you just enough so you kind of knew what was going on, and it was just enough, and it has left a rich tapestry to explore for the rest of the film. So they have done it, and they've done it very well. Like, you don't need to tell us everything about this character in the first 30 minutes of the film. Nope. You can leave some mystery, and that's okay. That's
perfectly fine.
Oh, absolutely.
And they did a great job of that.
All right. We've talked good. We've talked okay. But now it's time to talk not so good. What is your past film?
Everyone's going to hate me for this one. But I did not really care too much for Bill and Ted Face the Music.
I don't hate you for that one. It was one of the films that I actually considered as my pass, and I completely agree with you on this one. I mean, yes, it's done. You should have left it at 2. 2 was funny, you know what I mean? It was kind of cool. The 3, listen. I like the fact that Keanu Reeves was trying to reprise that role, and so is Alex Winters. But guys, you're seasoned a little too much. I mean, the thing is, the first one is just just a charm, right? Oh yeah, the first one was great. The second one was okay.
There's some great parts in that. I love when they brought death involved.
I mean, you praise every bass player, and death on bass is just perfect.
Yeah, it was hilarious. Don't mess with the Reaper as he does his little song and dance.
But the thing with this one, though, is that it took these characters and it made you at a very weird time in history, because it was still like this was a pandemic release as well, or like tail end of the pandemic release. And they took two characters that people loved and introduced them to their own mortality, and was like, no, show me fun, show me happy. I get it. Now I will say that the actresses who played their daughters actually did a decent job. The girl who played Keanu's daughter, and it was spot on to what Ted was. So, they did some good casting, and obviously you're going to be missing the presence of the late great George Carlin. So that was,
it was difficult to do because without Carlin, it just didn't feel right anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just because of that fact. You know what I mean? It's hard.
Yeah. I mean, yes, the story had been told, I think, already to death in 2 movies, and I think you could have passed on. But I completely agree with you. I was excited when I first heard about it, and I was lukewarm after I saw it.
I was like, thank God I did not spend $9.50 for this movie.
Yeah.
Or 10, whatever it is to go to a movie these days. I catch the early flicks. That's why I said $9.50. So if the movie's bombed, at least no one will ever know I was there.
Yeah. You can decide your dinner after the movie depending on how good the movie is. If it's a good movie, we have a good dinner. If it's a bad movie, we get some Metamucil, call it a day, and pretend we never saw it. It's all good.
Pretty much that's what I did.
Kind of feels like how I felt when I went to the theater many moons ago to watch Johnny Mnemonic.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that one.
And I can pinpoint the moment when this film lost me. Dear Mr. Henry Rollins, I don't care how much you think you need to scream when you are performing, but if you're the only person screaming in the scene, maybe that shouldn't be the moment. Let me go over this cast, okay? And tell me when you've changed the channel. Keanu Reeves, okay, I'll stick with it. Dina Meyer, love her, she's great, I'll stick with it. Ice-T, I'm intrigued, maybe. Dolph Lundgren, click. Henry Rollins, yeah. Henry Rollins is a good actor, just not in this film.
You know where I found when he was a good actor? You're going to laugh at me. In the movie with Michael Keaton, Jack Frost.
I mean, again, that was a good film. He was good in it.
He was.
But again, here's another,
rock and roller.
Keanu Reeves, but with Johnny Mnemonic. Here's another Keanu Reeves led sci-fi film based on a science fiction work of literature, in this case written by William Gibson, who wrote the 1981 short story on this. And William Gibson, a phenomenal writer unto himself, right? But the thing is that if it's, no matter how good the story is, or at least the source material, if the acting brings it down, and all it really takes is one bad actor to knock you out of a scene. And I'm not saying Henry Rollins is a bad actor. I'm just saying in that moment, he derailed Johnny Mnemonic for me.
It was kind of funny. In an interview, I forgot who he was interviewing, Keanu Reeves. He said he wished he could do Johnny Mnemonic again and redo the whole movie.
I mean, I can see that. I mean, obviously, you're doing a dystopian sci-fi film before you really have the technology to do it. Yeah. So yes, if you had a chance to go back and redo it with today's technology, and keep in mind, this film came out in 1995.
Yeah.
Yes, you were doing some decent sci-fi in 1995, but can you imagine what this cyberpunk film would look like today?
It would be actually really good.
Yeah.
I would actually enjoy it.
And the thing is, if you took the time to make the film in more, maybe not necessarily the stark, somber tone of a movie like the creator. But if you just take the time to give it that dark feel to it, and I think because in 1995 you had a lot of films that were like, all right, everything's gonna be bright and neon and glowing, and just no.
Pretty much, but that you definitely need Metamucil, milk of magnesia,
and no Dolph Lundgren.
And no Dolph Lundgren.
Even though
he really poop shoot that movie.
I mean, he's okay in some movies. I actually didn't mind Dolph Lundgren in Aquaman. You know, he knew the assignment. He did the assignment well. I actually didn't mind him in The Expendables.
In The Expendables, he was all right.
Yeah, because he was exactly what you wanted him to be. And
but I really wanted him to go against Rocky again. It's another movie that him and Sly Stallone could be together and pretend and throw little punches at each other and saying who's the best. Listen, Rocky always beats Dolph 9 times out of 10.
Well, you had that in what, Creed 2?
Creed 3. Yeah, Creed 2.
It was Creed 2, yeah.
Creed 2. And Brigitte Nelson. I wonder how that was working with his ex-wife.
Well, I think it's been long enough ago that everyone's kind of moved on and, lived their own life.
Yeah, but still, I want to know how it was to work with her.
I don't know. Ask Flavor Flav.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, you're right.
All right, Gomez. So, remind our viewers again, what were your keep, watch, and pass films of movies starring Keanu Reeves?
Oh, God, yeah. First one, Point Break, John Wick, the first John Wick, and on top of it, the real Bill and Ted Facing the Music, which I really wanted to love that, but I couldn't.
I think that's the sentiment to everybody. Because the minute it was, like I said, the minute it was announced, everyone was like, this is the movie that will save us from the last 3 years. Yeah. And then you watch and go, this is the movie I wish they didn't make at all.
That was the one movie that I wish they never made. It was that bad.
Yeah. And for me, my movies were Scanner Darkly was my keep movie, The Devil's Advocate was my watch, and Johnny Mnemonic was my pass. Gomez, thank you so much for this. Now, before we go, I want you to take a moment here and let our listeners know where they can find you on the internet and where they can find the Sleevie G Show.
So, thank you. Working hard on the Sleevie G Show. Had some amazing guests this year, especially Jason. We talked some Tony Hawk in episode 3.
It was 3, yeah.
It was episode 3. We are going to talk some hockey soon. We just got to wait to get our schedules kind of in line. You can easily find my blogs on sleeviegpodcasts.com. And then also I do have a Linktree /SleevieG79, which I post up every day on X, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere you can find me, even a little TikTok now. You got the Sleevie G Show on TikTok. I'm having a great time. I'm reaching the plateau of 50 episodes coming up. It's huge. My 1-year anniversary is coming up in January. Just a lot going on the show, man. 1 year almost.
50 episodes, man. Where did the time go? Seriously, where did the time go?
A lot of time and energy has been put onto this show. And I got to thank Unfiltered Studios who really now signed me and rep me a little bit. You know what I mean? So I got to thank those guys too, Unfiltered, because without them, I don't know what to say, man. They've just been a great podcast family. I got to thank them so much for letting me join their crew.
Yeah, there's some good shows on that network there. So kudos to you, including yours as well. Kudos to you for signing up with them, and kudos to them for recognizing how good you are. Gomez, thank you so much for popping on the show. And to you, our listeners, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Keep, Watch, Pass. Now, if there is a topic that you would like us to cover, be sure to hit us up on social media at Not That Badcast, or go to our website at notthatbadcast.com. Also, be informed that all of our shows are now also on YouTube. So if you happen to get your podcast on YouTube, you can go to our website, find the links there. Everything is there. No matter how you listen to your shows, you can listen to us. Until next time, this is Keep, Watch, Pass. Gomez, thank you. Listeners, thank you so much. I'm Jason. Take care.
Permit me here and now to promise as a good comrade and a fellow artist that I will not report any of this, whatever it is, to the police.
What would you say you do here?
Abandoned Albums is a podcast that employs a deep bench of musical archivists. These determined individuals dig through the record crates of the world to find the lost music of artists. Using a patent-pending algorithm and spirited debate, we pick one album as an inroad to talk about and then reach out to the artists. We invite them into Thunderlove Studio. When we're lucky, they say yes. Abandoned Albums is a little like this.
That was TNUC by Grand Funk Railroad. And I spelled the word backward in my head, and I immediately ran out the record.
They're like, do you know who we are? And we were like, I mean, kind of.
Well, you're in blue. Of course we know you.
Yeah, you're blue.
Yeah, you're blue, you're man.
Abandoned Albums isn't about the show, and it's not about the host or hosts. It's about the artist's work and making sure it remains, or in some cases, lands on, the cultural radar. It's why Abandoned Albums is the only music podcast that matters.
Wow, that was really, really enjoyable. Thanks, fellas.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it.
Thank you both.
All right, cool.
Abandoned Albums is a proud member of the Pantheon Podcast Network.